This say we are going on a flat bridge. Watch ya. A madness in this, you know? I make can't go my yard. Pure madness. Pure madness. Watch ya. People them block up a bridge and now move. Pure madness. Eh? No, sir. Pure madness. Police come and lock up the two of them. Watch them over this discuss.
Welcome to True Jamaica Buzz, news and entertainment with a buzz. This one is called The Darkness and Impatience of the Roads of Jamaica is in full display at the Flatbridge of all places. A place that many people fear. Now, people, I was not there, don't know the before, don't know the after. I am just going by what I see. And I realized that the trailer looked like it carrying some sorts of cement or something. Was maybe about 3/4 way across the bridge, and then behind or in front of that trailer is a minibus and a pro box. Looks what to be a taxi. Not sure, cannot say for sure. I am just going by the eye test. So when you look at this, we can come to the conclusion that maybe the trailer had the right of way, or maybe the trailer broke the red lights. Not sure if the light is working. There's a stoplight at both ends to enter the flat bridge. So therefore, I just assume that the lights were working since the passage of Hurricane Melissa. However, what this speaks is volume of the mindset of the people. Like I said, they are very impatient. They are very dark. They are very dunce. Even when you have the right of way, persons would violate that right of way, meaning run across a red light and then in a big argument with you, want to send you up under your mother. At the end of the day, everybody else is going to lose, meaning the other person that are behind, whomever was wrong, whether it is a minibus or whether it is the trailer. So at the end of the day, any and everybody else is going to be inconvenienced because of the bad decision making process by two individuals or so. Makes absolutely no sorts of sense. However, welcome to Jamrock. Point blank and period.
I got rotted, man. See, boy, them man. Just rob a youth, you know.
School youth and I run police
Yeah.
Fresh
drop.
So the next thing that is popping in the news is based on a video that has been making it round over social media in which an alleged thief was caught by the police. You could see the thief in the back of the police cruiser, police jeep. Based on information is that he stole somebody's phone and he tried to run. However, it seems as if he could not outrun the people in a halfway tree. So it's either the people catch him and was going to deal with him, give him the Tarzan, the Jane, and the little monkey justice. However, for some reason, he was handed over to the police, and you could hear the angry people, the angry mob, saying that, officer, hold on a minute there. You mean say you catch some sorts of thief and you are not giving him justice right on the spot? Leave it, give it up to the people, let the people be the judge, the jury, and most importantly, the executioner. People, my recommendation, and I am not recommending that you thief. However, if you thief in certain places, those places are Alfred Tree, Worth, Downtown, Montego Bay, St. Thomas, and probably St. Mary. The wages of sin is usually DEATH. So this youth should thank his lucky star, whichever side of the bed that he slept on. He's supposed to go back and sleep on it, but more than likely, he is going to be locked up. What makes it even worse, more than likely, the persons whose phone he stole will not go through the court and go through the long, tedious process. So therefore, this man, more than likely, is going to be back on the road doing the same thing over and over until, of course, he meets his downfall, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news is based off a picture that has been making its round on social media, where a man in a dark gray shorts and a red shirt was seen riddled with about 20 pieces. I am not speaking about hot wings, I am speaking about 20 pieces from the police them rifle. Based on the information, it is said that some alleged robbers were stopped in their track in the gated community of Phoenix Park Village, Phase 3, Portmore, St. Catherine to be specific. One of those men were shot dead. That is the man he was seen in a vehicle cannot show because of YouTube's policy. Based on the information, it is said that the police got intelligence that some men were robbing a house in the community. The police pull up the men, jump in the vehicle, press pedal to the metal. However, they lost control. When they lost control, based on the police report, it is said that those said men alighted from the vehicle, start to blaze up all sorts of can after the police. The police took evasive action, returned fire, and the rest was history. Well, he was history. His cronies took away themselves. Now, people have to understand this is a thing of cat and mouse game. This is a thing about when the cat's away, the mice will play. In this Utah season, these people are intended to spoil, be the Grinch that stole Christmas for you. So they know that a lot of persons are going to be traveling. They know that a lot of persons are going to be on the road shopping. So they are going to try to take full advantage of the situation. But like I've always said, when man a plan, God a wipe out. So the moral of the story is this: you sleep mark pets, meaning persons that have their legitimate homes, secure in their place, and most importantly, the people that have aspirations of being criminals. Remember, the tables can turn. Such the way is that you're planning and plotting and scheming. Such is the way that the tables turn and the dish and the crockery and everything broke up, and your life get FUCK up. Such is the case with this one individual. It is only sad that everybody did not get it. Sent to the afterlife, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, it is called the scammer them there. Once more again, the scammers are relentless, especially in these Yuletide season. And we see that they are using something known as phishing, smishing, and vitching. So pretty much 4 individuals stole in excess of 80 million Jamaican dollars from a couple of accounts, I think NCB. And then they transferred the funds to about 23 persons. So I guess the investigations were done on Mocha, got the individuals or got the suspect, and then went and made a couple of arrests. I want you to take a look to the details from these professional news media, and then I'll give my piece.
The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, supported by members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, has arrested 4 suspects in connection with an investigation into a smishing fraud at National Commercial Bank. Prince Moore has the details.
The 4 who are accused of stealing over 80 million Jamaican dollars through phishing, smishing, and vishing attacks between April 2022 and December 2023 are alleged to have defrauded 8 NCB account holders by transferring the funds to 23 beneficiaries who were involved in the scheme. The 4 are expected to be charged shortly. Phishing and smishing scams refer to the use of fraudulent emails and texts, respectively, fashioned to mirror a legitimate company's communication with the aim of soliciting the victim's access information. According to Director of Communications at MOCA, Major Basil Jarrett, yesterday's operation and the subsequent arrests underline the important work of the agency's Cybercrime Investigation Unit in light of the growing threat of cyber and cyber-enabled crimes. Major Jarrett also urged the public to remain vigilant in their cyber activities by checking the legitimacy of their communications and the online entities that they are doing business with, and taking steps to secure their confidential information online, especially in the busy Christmas season. He also encouraged members of the public who have information on this and other types of illegal cyber activity to call MOCA Tip line at 888 MOCA Tip.
So people, you heard what the news had to say: phishing, smishing, and vitching, and they kind of explain everything in details. What these individuals don't realize, whenever you do any sorts of crime and there's a paper trail, that means even if you're the one that are the mastermind, somebody has to collect that money. Some sorts of account has to be used. So therefore, what they are going to do, they are going to clamp down on the person in which you transfer the money to, and then you give them a little bit of money, and then you take the lion's share. So these persons are going to be screaming, squealing, and snitching to the police, and they are going to call your name, and then the police is going to come and look for you. But it seems as if, because these criminal elements think that they are so smart when they are fully done. So yes, they are bright to come up with some sorts of diabolical plan to steal $80 million. However, it makes absolutely no sorts of sense to thief if you can't hide, if later in the long run you're going to get caught based on the paper trail, point blank and period.
Right in a mandibule, they come around the boat and come down. Come back from town. So the police vehicle there. And the taxi there. And the white Charlie there. I want to bike up this one. I want to carry up this one. When you come around the one about come from Mandeville. You me?
So the next thing that is popping in the news based on the video that you just saw is of a multi-car, including bike accident that took place along the highway, Winston Jones Highway, involving taximan, involving police. Now, people, I don't know the before and I don't know the after, but what I do know is what I see based on the eye test of this video. It is obvious that either somebody was speeding, somebody was violating the road code and up on the wrong side, or just a speed excessively. So at the end of the day, this proves that haste makes waste, because all of this speeding, all of this rushing, just to reach wherever you want to reach is inconveniencing you. It is going to cost persons a whole bunch of money and stop persons that were going about their merry business in the Yuletide season to be inconvenienced. Makes absolutely no sorts of sense. However, this is Jamaica. That is what we expect. Just expect the worst, especially in this festive season. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news is the controversy and drama as it pertains to the JPS being loaned $150 million plus an next $50 million emergency from the OUR. That is $200 million out of the $350 million to $400 million that they need to do a complete recovery of all of Jamaica in time for about the end of January or so. Well, people, you see, so the controversy started when the PNP was asking, then hold on a minute, have you gotten information from JPS as to yes, they have secured the remaining, meaning the balance of the $400 or $350 million? Well, people, when that question was asked of the Finance Minister, Favour Williams, it seems as if she was lost, dazed, and confused. I want you to take a look at exactly what she had to say, and then I'll give my piece.
There are obviously many questions that the members have, the details of which I am not able to give at this moment. As you said earlier on, JPS is a private entity, and I would implore members to come with their questions, to ask those questions of the Minister of Energy.
So people, you heard what the Finance Minister had to say. Remember, this is her portfolio, meaning that she's the person that is in charge. She's supposed to have all the information. However, she said, if you want answer to that question, ask the OUR or ask Darrell Vaz, which is the Energy and Transport Minister. I want you to take a look at exactly what the Energy and Transport Minister had to say when he was asked that question in a parliament, and then I'll give my piece.
The original estimate was $480 to $600 million. It has been revised down to $350 to $400 million. The $150 billion that we are lending them was not picked out of a hat. They told us they needed $75 million a month for 2 months to bring us full restoration. So yesterday in Parliament again, the noise and the mischief about the fact that the $150 million is not enough, and where is the other 200 or 250 million coming from? That's not a discussion that we have had with the JPS.
Mr. Vaz also stated that no proposal for extra funding outside the approved US $150 million has been submitted.
The JPS is owned majority privately, so the government has no obligation to fund a private entity. We did so in this case because of the benefits, and therefore we have nothing in front of us either to qualify at this stage the amount or the final assessment of the amount of money that Melissa has caused damage to JPS. We don't have it from the JPS and I don't have it from the OUR. So I can't speak to any other figure other than what is out there.
So people, you heard from the finance minister. She has no clue, no information from the OUR, no information from the JPS. So therefore she told you to ask Darrell Vaz, and Darrell Vaz is just as ignorant and dark. Now people, this is nothing political, but it is obvious that Favour Williams is pushed to the side because these burning questions, when she go on the hot seat, it seems as if she flinched. So they turn that responsibility over to Darrell Vaz, which is an expert liar and expert criminal. Nothing to do with JLP. Those are the facts. So him now is telling you that, yes, because of the desperate situation, and yes, Jamaica needs back the lights, and yes, residents need back the light, and business people, most importantly, to put the economy back on track. And people, I have zero objection to JPS putting on the lights. But I am just saying, and persons are asking questions like myself, why can't we get the light and also the money being sent to them responsibly? So this is what happens when you play banker, meaning the government of Jamaica, meaning the JLP, and you don't know anything about banking. Because in banking, if you was doing your due diligence, if you was vetting properly, you would have made sure that if somebody comes for a loan and they say they need 200 or 150 million, you should ask the question that is very important. So you have the balance of the 350 million or 400 million that you need. Where is it coming from? Let us see the documentation. Let us see the evidence before we give you this money. We're not going to give you this money. It is contingent that you have the rest. So what probably happens now, and people, I am not saying that it is going to happen, is when they get this money from Jamaica, JLP, the government of Jamaica, the people's purse, and then them don't have the rest, everything is going to stall. Who do you think is going to pay for that? Jamaica would have loaned them $150 million, knowing that their lease, our contract is up in 2027. That is 2 years or so from now. And then everything back. Who you think is going to be stuck with this deal? Who you think is going to be stuck and have to pay back for it? It is the people of Jamaica, based on some decisions that were made by some persons that are playing banker but don't have any sort of banking experience. People, this is not sound decision. It makes absolutely no sorts of sense. And don't take it out of context. Yes, we need back the light. However, we need back the light and make sure that we have done our vetting process. Make sure that all the dots, the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Everything is in proper perspective before you give these people the money and then live to regret it. It makes no sense. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news is based on an incident that took place in Clarendon where a 5-year-old girl was almost abducted. Had it not been for the bravery and sensibility of a counselor and his wife, I think his name is Barneswell. Don't quote me on the name. So people, we see the man, the suspect, the main suspect that was held by that counselor, he is now in the custody of the police. And the girl was taken to the police station and then taken to the hospital and then returned safely to her family. I want you to take a look to the update and then I'll give my piece.
So I said to my wife, isn't that the St. Thomas More Prep child that been reported missing? And she said, you sure? I said, yeah man, check the picture in my WhatsApp group. And she did. And she said, let us turn back and check. So I made a turn when it was safe to do so. Drove up beside the man, wind down the front passenger window and inquire, you know. Hey sir, trying to get his attention. Hi sir. And he refused to even look at me and keep walking. So I keep driving beside him and still trying to beckon to him for him to respond to me. When I realized he was moving faster with the kid walking fast, that is, I drove ahead and blocked their path. I said, where you get this pitney from? And him, I said, I'm cousin sent him to pick him up. And I said, then where do this side with the pitney? Where pitney live? Or your cousin live? Him say, the cousin live in Sharp Avenue. I said, where do around this place with the pitney? I said, give me people in pitney, man. You know, and we kind of rough him up a bit and him there, you know, standing looking like he want to run. I'm saying, I'm going to run till the police are going to lock you up. She was scared. She was terrified. You know, she said to my wife that the man took her watch and her tie and told her not to come out of the bush. Apparently, he lead her through a very heavily vegetated area because on the child, you know, found a lot of burr from the different trees or shrub that she would have come into contact with. And I saw the same thing on his clothes. So I would have took the child to a very heavily vegetated area of that section of Maple. Well, once you see missing person alert, whereas it's have to do with children, it requires every single soul to be alert, to be aware, to be assertive of them area, them environment. And if you see any child, whether it's in the uniform or not, but matches the description of that missing person, intervene. Call the police, or if you can intervene without causing harm to yourself and others, do so. Because if I had just drove past yesterday, we don't know what would have happened to that child. But the mere fact that I saw that alert in the WhatsApp group, it draws my suspicion once I saw the man with that little girl.
So people, you heard the update from the hero himself, he and his wife. He gave details as to everything that the man did and the questions and the answer that the man did. The man was not shuffling. Well, he might have shuffled a little bit, but it was obvious that he had sense enough to go take with a little picnic from school and sense enough to be walking her in a high vegetative place so that he would not be spotted. So therefore, we can come to the conclusion that he have sense or sense enough to do what he did and was planning whatever he had planned to do with that little girl, which would not have been good. We can all come to that conclusion. So we have to say kudos to the counselor and his wife for being brave, and I am assuming that the counselor more than likely had some sorts of tool, lights of fire piece. I would not recommend people, I am not saying that, you don't try to step in whenever you see a little child in a danger. That is your civic duty. But me just say, be very careful because it could have gone bad on the counselor, the little girl, and the counselor's wife. Luckily, it did not. What makes it even more disturbing is based on what some persons from the community in which that man lived, this is exactly what they had to say. Take a listen, take a look, and then I'll give my piece.
He's of unsound mind, and I don't know what happened, but I think he's getting worse as the days goes by because he has never done that before all these years that I've known him. And I think he needs medication, but there's no family member right now in Jamaica to assist him. But I think he's going through a lot, and he's of unsound mind. He's doing things that he's not supposed to be doing. He's taking up rubbish now that I never used to see him doing those stuff.
Now, people, like I said, you heard the counselor explain the questions and the answer that the man gave. And I am not going to say that, well, we know that he's not 100%. But me just say him sensibly enough to know what he was doing was wrong. He went to the school and somehow got that little child. Don't know where the security was for that school. Don't know what type of process the school lets you go through whenever you are picking up a child, especially a young child, 5 or 6 year old. My point is this. Now we hear persons from his community saying that he's of unsound mind and he has never done that before. Well, here are the facts. If somebody is evil, if somebody is out here taking away people's picnic and then taking them away, do you think that he's going to come and confess and say, you know, say, me never get my medication, so I kind of go off track. And I take one little picnic and I jump over a fence or a film fence and then I take them away and bust them throat and fling them in the bush. People need to stop taking up for persons, especially when they are wrong, especially when they did something like that. It is only good that it did not get as bad as it could get because he was intercepted by the counselor and his wife. Just imagine had somebody not had the sense of mind or bravery how it would have went to the furthest extent, people just as say. So this speaks volume of the irresponsibility and negligence of the state and of persons, meaning family members, who are supposed to make sure they are there so that this person can get his medication, get him joke. And the state for taking our persons that are endangering the life of the most vulnerable amongst us, meaning children. So therefore, many other persons, children, are going to go missing, get hurt, or even lose them life because the state and those who are supposed to be responsible are not doing their due diligence and doing their job. People, it makes absolutely no sorts of sense. Why is Jamaica always reactive instead of proactive when it is causing the life of many persons, causing persons to get injured, causing persons to get missing? People, me don't know what happened to Jamaica. Something is definitely wrong. Point blank and period.
What the fuck I got this? Going 5 days and I'm going to cure my toe.
And so the therapy.
I lie my tell you, I believe it. You want to rub up the money and give me.
You want man just.
You want to rub up the money and blood clot. Give me my money. And you never take you out and blood clot. Give me my time when I pull a packet. Give me my money. Me the business. Give me. You have less for me. Give me my money. Give me my money. Me say give me my money.
Yo.
So the next thing that is popping in the news is based on a video that has been making its round on social media of an elderly lady draping up, biting up an elderly man, claiming that he owes her 500 Jamaican dollars for a loan that she gave him. People, just to do the math, that is about $3.33 US dollar. She claimed that he has not paid her back, and he claims she take for him $1,000, which is 1,000 Jamaican dollar, which would be $600 and about $66, $6.66, sorry. So he must say, then hold on a minute, me owe you 500 and you tear up my $1,000, that means you owe me $500, meaning $3.33 US dollar. So his sister, she had draped him up and he was not responding, meaning viciously, meaning angrily. Him just kind of calm and I tell her to calm down. Now people out there, women are men. There's a saying that goes something like this: Duppy knows who to frighten. So obviously, this lady look like she's some sort of bullbucker and Duppy conqueror. Maybe they are in a relationship and him knows that she get mad angry and her head no good. So therefore him calm to make the situation kind of go away. Women out there, I do not recommend if you have any sort of man, even if it's a soft soap, because sometimes people chip can get licked and it takes them out of character, and that character can take you out of your life. Me just as say, you sleep and mark, you know what, literally. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.